T-Pizzle, how are you going to one-up that giant monster? What the heck is it? That's a scary looking thing. One Up is the 6th studio album released by T-Pain. Couple of things with this guy. This is a very odd thing for me to admit, but T-Pain's the reason I got into hip-hop. Knowing what I know now, hip-hop means something a little bit different to me, especially since I've put myself in the b-boy community, or at least, I like that dance, and I like a couple of the other elements of hip-hop. I do think a little bit more like an old-school head, but at the same time, I like the mainstream stuff sometimes. And I kind of just take what I like and I attribute that to just getting introduced to this guy right here. The other part is I really wasn't expecting a new album from him quite yet, but it kind of makes sense when you put a lot of other things together. For example, he just won the Masked Singer contest. I saw a lot of commercials about that, but I didn't end up really watching it. And then I heard more about it, and I'm like, oh snap. T-Pain just won that contest. And it's so funny because in that costume, he doesn't get to use his autotune. And, he doesn't have to. And everyone should know this. And everyone should have already known that. Do you know how long I've known that T-Pain can sing without autotune? Since 2007. You know why I know that? Because I was paying attention, okay? The man doesn't need autotune. He uses it to be different. He uses it to change up his style. He doesn't need it. Other people who think he's a gimmick, you ain't paying attention, okay? Just saying. In addition to that spotlight, he also did a rap battle with Lonzo Ball on that rap show, whatever it was, and yeah, totally schooled him. No offense, Ball, but yeah, you got schooled, man. And then he got invited to host the iHeartRadio Awards. He's gonna be around still, even though, he has a niche. He has this thing that he goes for, and he's kind of sticking with it, and I'm gonna give him props to that. But at the same time, there are things about that particular style that he has that, for me, does hinder him a little bit. But let's talk about that while talking about the album right here. So in a lot of my hip-hop reviews, most of the complaints I have with most of the albums is just, using vulgarity or using racial slurs that are deemed appropriate for that particular area, stuff like that. And he has plenty of that in here, and, I'm not going to be able to change that unless, someone takes my review seriously. But there is something about the songwriting on a thematic level that is very different compared to others. Obviously, he doesn't rap as much as he does sing, but I noticed this in a lot of his albums. T-Pain includes a lot of actual, ideas. He doesn't just rap about how awesome he is or, how much money he's got. And while he does do that on occasion, he actually has, an idea, or at least a concept of how he could incorporate those themes, or he actually has a theme that's original. Some songs that just kind of have that, not that I'm going to highlight them with sound clips, is R.I.P. The Parking Lot. I think One Up had that as well. It's My Dog Birthday. Just a couple of these, by their titles themselves, you can already tell they just got different ideas to it, is what I'm trying to get at. The man's just trying to have fun when he makes his music. It's kind of like the good spirit of that roommate who just likes to party a little too much a little bit, but you still love the guy. That's kind of what T-Pain is with the majority of the music that he's made. The song that I think I like the most and is kind of okay with the radio edit is A Million Times. A good chunk of this album is produced amazingly. I don't know what it is, but a lot of the people who are trying to make different sounds for hip-hop, these days. Some still really excel, and others just fall so flat. And T-Pain is sticking kind of to what his sound has always been, and that's okay. It doesn't feel like it's getting old, at least not to me. I don't know how it is for everybody else. He sounds like he's just trying to still have fun, and he's hoping that other people will realize he just wants to have a good time. Will other climb aboard the party with him? That depends on the kind of party you're trying to portray when you actually bring it along, because I would love to party with this guy. He seems like a fun dude. There are a few things that I don't think I could participate in that party, but you know what? Maybe I can invite him to my own party, and then he would make it a little bit more lively. Also with the art here, he is showing that he is kind of a little bit more into gaming. He doesn't talk about that a lot beforehand, but I don't think it was necessarily something that was unexpected, especially if you ever seen his house and MTV Cribs. So yeah, I'm a little torn with the majority of T-Pain's music, and it shows itself again in this album. So I am going to have to kind of give a split rating because it is kind of a conflicting ideology, the way that I have taken in listening to this album. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 96%, creativity 81%, expression and lyrics 31%, this album is going to get a good and okay. Some of it was kind of obvious, but I am going to give major props for just a lot of the creativity. The beat is just on point. And this guy, I don't want him to disappear. And I really like it when he collaborates with other people. He knows how to make other people's songs hits. He knows how to do it for himself as well. But, man... From like 2007 to 2009, even going on until almost 2011, it seemed like everyone wanted a T-Pain feature. And I kind of missed that. We don't need to overdo it, but I missed that a little bit. But we're getting a lot of TV features, and we're getting more features of him doing other stuff, especially off the autotune, which is okay. Which brings me to just suggest one thing before I wrap up this review. T-Pain, if for any reason you or anybody that you work with see this review, I would love to not deter you, but just to suggest that you do maybe a classy kind of album without the autotune. I don't think that you need to stop doing that. I really don't. If you want to do that, do it, okay? I'm okay with that. But I think that there's a possibility that you do something with a little bit more class, without the auto-tune. Maybe it could open up some more doors. Kind of like when you cut your hair a few years ago. I feel like maybe that could do something. That's just a very, very humble suggestion coming from a fan. You don't have to listen to it at all. You can keep doing what you're doing. That's fine. But I don't know. I just feel like there's endless options for you. And a lot of other unconventional collaborations that could come about because of that. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.